What's going on, guys? It's Wheeler. Welcome back to another video. Today we are here at Sebring International Raceway in, well, Sebring, Florida, with the ZR1, of course. I'm out here with PDG, your Performance Driving Group, track days, and we're gonna put the car on the track through its paces and have a lot of fun. I wanted to preemptively kind of respond to, I know, the inevitable comments I'm gonna get. You're a terrible driver, the car's slow because you don't know how to drive, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a pro driver, never claimed to be. I have raced this track before with the C7 ZR1, but that was probably like 4 years ago, so it's been a while. Not a seasoned driver, not a pro, not gonna be pushing the car beyond what I believe to be my personal capabilities, because ultimately, I just wanna have fun. And that's what we're gonna do. And if we can go fast in the process, that's a win. Overall goal is just to enjoy the time, not destroy the car or myself, and make it out in one piece. So let's hope that happens. But if there's anything you take away from this video, it is drive your car. Too many of a lot of these performance cars, especially the Corvettes, get spec'd, ordered, built, delivered, and then sit in a garage for years hoping that they appreciate. And that's not what I want to do. That's never what I've done with my cars. I want to drive them, enjoy them, and have a good time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not planning on setting any records. I'm not going to push the car beyond what I believe to be my capabilities. We're going to have a good time nonetheless, and I hope that you guys enjoy as I get to bring you along with me. So let's go. So right now, group number 100 is going, which is like the advanced racers. I put myself in intermediate because I definitely don't have enough experience to consider myself an advanced driver. So we're going out after these guys are done. These guys are almost done, and then we're gonna take her out and see how she does. Let's go! So the skip here that you are seeing is to the fastest lap of this session. So there's like 30 minutes of track footage here. So I skipped ahead just for this section to the fastest lap of this session. I'm just gonna let you watch it without my commentary, and you can make your own opinions about it. So you can see here the fastest lap I had of that session, which was my first session out, was 2:21 around Sebring, which doing some quick Googling, trying to find out whether that's a competitive time or not, I found this post from a couple years ago showing the McLaren Senna with a pro driver managed a 2:12 around the track, meaning me, who has virtually no track experience on Michelin 4S tires, not even the Cup 2s, somehow managed a run only 8 or 9 seconds slower than the Senna, which is crazy to me. So just imagine what this car could do with an actual competent professional driver behind the wheel. and good cup tires, this thing would be an absolute monster. If I can manage this time, someone with a lot more experience can manage far better, that's for sure. Also, to highlight my incompetence and lack of experience on a track, this happened the following lap after the fastest one. Oh, all right. Well, that was eventful. The best lap of that little session was 2:21 on this track, which isn't too bad, especially for having literally no driving experience whatsoever. It looks like I need to get gas too. I have no idea if you can just get gas here. I have no idea how this works. Can you get gas here?
I'm not sure if it's open or not, but the nearest gas station is only like a mile away. It's not far.
Okay. All right, well then I'm gonna go get gas. Yeah. It is so cool to be able to drive this thing on the track and really see how fast this car is. It is incredibly fast, especially on those straights. Oh, it just wants to go. But I'm sure you saw there, I spun out and did a whole 360 in the middle of that turn. So, safe to say I need to take that turn a little slower or brake a little earlier. These are just learning pains with the track, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy that I'm doing what it is that the car was meant to do. So that's all I can ask for. All right, it is time for session 2. Fingers crossed, we survive. Here we go. Boy, is it hot out though. Get the PDR running. Temps are looking good. We have a green. Here we go. So we're pitting out here at this session, but I am going to jump ahead to, again, the fastest lap of this session. So we're coming off the front straight into turn 1. I was told to go as close as I can to that little black flag 0 there, but I stay a little too close and keep hitting this bump, which is slowing me down, causing traction control to kick on. That was turn 1. Turn 2 is that little bend, and now we're into turn 3 that cuts left, and then turn 4 goes to the right. And then turn 5 is a pretty late apex here, but because I'm still learning the track and I was trying to get around this, I don't know, what is this? I don't even know what car this is, like a Miata. Open track day, so, there's other cars on the track, but this is a long sweeping turn 6. I was trying to get up as fast as I could through here, which is around 150 miles an hour at the fastest, but it goes into a really sharp turn 7, which is where I spun out before. So I let off a little earlier than I could have, just because I was worried about missing, that turn. I'm cutting turn 8 here to the right, and then turn 9 kind of sweeps a little bit to the left. Coming up on this Porsche, he lets me by, but I'm noticing I lost a lot of time in this little section because of passing these other cars. So I definitely could have picked up a few seconds, I think, in this time, which would have been, my best then. And then turn 12 cuts back a little bit. This is turn 13. And then you have a little bit of a stretch. I was trying to keep up my speed here, but I kept getting nervous just because I'm going so fast through these turns. I could keep it up probably 120 there, but I kept hitting the brakes a little bit. And then we're hitting turn 15 here. And then for turn 16, I'm supposed to cut out a little bit more to the left over this center line. And then cut in for the long back straight. So I was trying to see again how fast I could get the car up to here. Throughout the day, the fastest time I had was 171 on this back straight. But I was so nervous all day about hitting that far back wall that I was just handling turn 16 terrible all day, or turn 17, sorry, terrible all day going back into the final straight. So I know I could pick up a lot of time here. But driving through, final time is going to be 2:22.68. But keep in mind, I had to pass several cars through here, through that lap. So I'm pretty confident that this would have been my fastest lap of the day. Sub 220 maybe even like 2:15 or 2:16, which again, the Senna's was like 2:12. So if I didn't have to pass several cars in that run, I probably could have had like my record lap of the day. But such is life with an open track day. Nonetheless, that was my best lap of that session, and it was a blast. All right, that was session 2. Fastest lap that time was 2:22.6. So a little slower than the first time. I don't know why, but we did go through over half a tank of gas just then. So I might have to get gas again in order to go through the next session. So this thing does drink a ton of fuel. Crazy, 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 crazy. So the PDR was going for 22 minutes and I went through like 33 miles with an average fuel economy of 3.7. So I just went all through all of the gas. It's hot. No AC on in the car, obviously, while on the track. Woo, boy. All right. Last session of the day. So here I'm just gonna go over some of the areas on the track that me or a better driver could definitely pick up a lot of time in this car, which is turn 1 right there. I keep hitting that bump, which is slowing me down. And then this is turns 2, heading into 3 right here, and then 4 cuts back to the right. I handle these okay, I think. But turn 5, again, with this really late apex, I was just hitting it at super inconsistent speeds and cutting in at not the best angles all day. There's definitely a bunch of room for improvement. Again, too far to the left, hitting that bump in turn 1. I should be out further to the right where that Porsche is. And then turn 2, 3, I think I cut in a little too early. 4, and then 5 once again. And I was trying to kind of follow people's lines, but everybody's taking a little bit differently. So there's definitely room for a driver to pick up speed there. Again, right here, just after this, is sweeping turn 6 into a sharp turn 7. So after I spun out earlier in the day, I think I took this at like 150 or so, but I waited way too long to step on the brakes, so it caused me to spin out. So the rest of the day, I was hitting this at like 120, as you can see, and then braking super early, way before the 4th set of cones. So if I was more confident and trusted my ability here, I know I could pick up time here too, because you can head into that turn 7 under this bridge at like 150 miles an hour, but I just wasn't, a little too nervous to really push it there. Another area for improvement is turn 14 here. You can maintain a lot of speed through these turns. I think this area is called the Bishop. You can maintain a lot of speed, and I did earlier in the runs. I think I went through there at around 120 mile an hour. But again, as I just went through the day, just got a little nervous about taking so much speed. And this is into the final turn 16. You can cut out really far to the left to get a turn in right, but I was inconsistent with that throughout the day as well. Going back again to turn 14, I think I put my foot on the brakes here, even though I don't need to at all. You can keep up your speed. Again, was just nervous about hitting this wall, and then obviously the car in front of me in this case. So was losing a lot of speed through turns like 14 and 15, going into, again, this turn 16 before we end up in the final back straight here where you can pick up a ton of speed. And the final area where I could pick up speed, which at this point seems like the whole track, is this back straight. I was trying to see as fast as I can get the car up to, which for the day was, I think, 171. But I was just really unsure how far out to the left I'm supposed to be, whether I'm supposed to cut in really far right towards that tower, when I should be turning in, how hard I should be on the brakes, and when. This area was causing me a lot of problems all day, but it's an important section of the track because it sets you up for this front straight where in a 1100 horsepower car you can pick up a lot of speed. So being really inconsistent there was definitely hurting my times. And one thing you have to consider, all of these areas I've shown you, which is basically the entire track, I was having issues with, yet I still managed a 220, which again is only like 8 seconds slower than a Senna. So I'm not a great driver, as you can tell. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that with a really good driver on really good tires that really knows this track, that you could definitely shave off, you know, a good handful, if not 10 seconds off of this time with someone that knows what they're doing, which at that point makes you beat the Senna time-wise, which is, you know, a $1.2 to $2 million car versus a $200,000, $300,000 Corvette. So I think it's really a testament to this vehicle that you could put it in the hands of an extreme novice like someone like me, yet still manage really competitive times. And I can only imagine what this car can do with someone professional. All right, we are all done with track day. Shout out to Performance Driving Group. That was who I signed up with. Got to do the runs. We did 5 or 6 30-minute sessions, but the first session I went out with a new friend of mine, and he kind of gave me some pointers, so I didn't record that one. Needed to just get refamiliarize myself with the track. I had an absolute amazing time, tons and tons of laps, and I'm sure everybody wants to know first, how did the car perform? So I had absolutely zero heating issues whatsoever the entire time. Chris Barber from the Corvette team had told me that the car will let me know if anything is getting too hot, if I need to take it easy on something, it'll let me know. I got nothing. The car did not overheat at all. It was never cutting power. Obviously, I had AC off during the runs, but it was never cutting power. I had it in track mode, but I had it under the PTM mode of sport. He had told me that race 1 and race 2 basically take all stability control and off, and it's more for like experienced drivers. He recommended either running under dry or sport, because I'm more of like a novice, and the systems in place there in the sport PTM mode are designed to, obviously like keep you safe from spinning out. I don't have the experience in me to turn that completely off and not be able to like catch the car, if I lose it. So those were super helpful. I felt them kicking in whenever I felt like I was losing the car a little bit, and they just really keep the car stable. So those work phenomenal. As far as gas though, I went through almost a full tank of gas per 30-minute session. So I was going through about like 14 gallons of fuel per 30-minute session at like 3 miles per gallon. So she sips a lot of gas. You're gonna have to fill up a lot if you're gonna be tracking this car regularly. I know this now, so yeah, went through a lot of gas. Right now, just on the drive home, I've just filled up again 5 or 6 tanks of gas, and it's telling me that my range for this full tank is 82 miles, based on the track days so far. The car held up absolutely phenomenally, and one thing I just kind of wanted to say, and just a testament to this car, is you can put someone who is a very inexperienced driver like myself behind the wheel of a 1100 horsepower rear wheel drive twin turbo car and be able to run very competitive track times when you have no idea what you're doing, without killing yourself and without the car going off the road. There was never a point where I felt like I was in danger or the car wasn't there to like catch me. Felt very, very safe, even in my in the sport driving mode. Obviously, you can completely turn all of that off and just go balls to the wall if you are fully confident in your abilities. I'm not, so I didn't do that. And then after you're done achieving very good track times for someone that has no idea what they're doing, you can put it back in tour mode, turn the traction control on, you have adaptive cruise control on the way home, turn your Bose sound system up, and drive it home like it's a regular daily driver, and totally comfortable. And that really cannot be overstated, because a lot of these cars that I'm seeing people compare this vehicle to, in terms of hypercars, $1 million cars, $750,000, $500,000 cars, supercars, a lot of those vehicles are not comfortable to drive every day, or just in general most of the time. The Aventador that I drove for a number of years, it's like a lot of those cars are cars that you can't wait to get in and drive, but you also cannot wait to get out of. And this car is not that way. The fact that it's just so versatile and wears like so many different hats, being able to comfortably drive it day to day and get relatively okay range in the car, and then put it in track mode, toss it on a track, drive to the track, is super impressive. I feel like I have a decent amount of experience now behind the wheel of this car. I have about 1,300 miles on it, driving it through break-in, obviously on the drag strip, now at Sebring. I've got a lot of time behind the wheel and really got to see kind of what the car can do, even at my level. And I can without a doubt say that this is the best Corvette they've ever made. And I'm no stranger to the Corvette. I've owned, this is my 5th or 6th one so far, from the C7 Stingray, C7 ZR1, C8 Stingray, C8Z06, and now this. And I tracked the C7 ZR1. I had experience behind the wheel of that car. This car knocks that one out of the water for sure. The balance is crazy. The rear always feels completely planted, with obviously the weight distribution being over the rear wheels. paired with the giant 75-inch carbon fiber wing on the back, you've so much downforce, so much stability, so much control, even on 4S tires. I can't even imagine someone who is more confident behind the wheel and on stickier tires or even slicks, this car would be glued to the road. And it's not a light car. You know, it's a 4,000-pound car, so there's a lot of weight behind it too. And even the brakes held up phenomenal. I had no brake fade. There was never a time that I was losing feel on the brakes. They're just as responsive as they always have been, even after a full track day. That is just crazy. That's awesome. And you know, I'm sure people in the comments are going to say like, oh, well, it's only held up that well because you didn't really drive it that hard, or you're not a great driver, or you're going to be bummed that the times weren't as fast as you thought, or this car's better, or this car's better, or whatever. It did not feel as scary as the C7 ZR1, just because it feels so much more stable. The C7 ZR1 felt like you were always going to lose it, because you had so much weight on the front of the car. Even with the wing in the back, it didn't give you enough weight over the rear wheels to really keep the car super planted. This one feels super planted, super responsive. I'm totally impressed and could not be more blown away. But if you stuck around this far, I genuinely appreciate you hanging around. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, comment, subscribe. There's plenty more videos coming soon. The video versus the Tesla should be up already, maybe by the time you're seeing this. And then more drag strip videos to come. I'm gonna keep trying to push out content. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Looking forward to making many more shortly. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.